Hello, my name is Alex Philly. Let's talk a bit more about the Division. In terms of the Dark Zone, it's quite a fun place to be. Sometimes there's not that many people, but later on you tend to find a lot more by the extraction points. I think the penalties for going rogue are probably too high, which does make it a bit limited in terms of when you should and when you shouldn't go rogue. For instance, if there's just one guy on his own, then it's fine and you can get away with that. If you're near an extraction point and there's loads of people nearby, then it's probably not going to be possible for you to kill anyone because they'll just gang up on you and take you out really quickly. So yeah, I think with the rogue system at the moment it does need a lot of balancing before it becomes a key feature of the game. It's a good system to have because it makes you fearful of what other people might have or might do, but it does lead to a lot of accidental deaths. Like if a player walks in front of you and you are shooting someone, then you can get tagged as rogue and then killed for seemingly no reason, just a case of friendly fire. I think that should be resolved, hopefully, by the developers. It's definitely fun to take down rogue players. It's just not very fun to actually be one, unless you're a really high level character with nothing to lose. So there's a few ways to get good loot in the Dark Zone, one of them being the chests that you find littered around the game, which you need a certain rank to open. Then you've got the regular enemies, which sometimes drop things, and you've got the elite boss enemies, the more powerful ones being the ones with the name over their head. They tend to drop quite a bit of stuff. I've played around with a few different guns. I quite like some of the guns. The assault rifles seem to work quite well. The LMGs seem to be good for suppressing enemies and doing a lot of damage with a huge clip. The SMGs are quite like snappy ones that you can kind of like pull out. They're good for when you've got enemies on the run and you just want to gun them down quick. If you're in the middle of trying to reload something that takes a long time, it's probably best to whip out a pistol if you're about to finish someone off. If you're in a group and there's quite a lot of strong enemies, then using the marksman rifle is probably a good idea because you can peek out from cover and do quite a lot of damage with that. Besides the basic grenades, I've not really found myself using items that much, although I probably should start using more of the things like the stun grenades and smoke, especially because some of the enemies are getting pretty tough at the moment. You can also get skill mods for certain skills as well, so what I've done is I've upgraded my first aid skill, so it does a full healing effect, but it also has the ability to overheal, so it can give you an extra health bar, which is pretty good. I've also upgraded my turret as well, so it attacks enemies, but then it also pulses and tags the enemies on the radar as well, which is quite useful. Recently I've started deconstructing my weapons instead of selling them. When you sell the low level items you don't really get much money, but when you deconstruct them they become supplies that you can use for crafting, and those are a lot better than just simply selling the item and buying another one. I've noticed on the blue weapons that I've got there are quite a few traits that become available when your stats reach certain levels. So at the moment I'm trying to balance those so that I can gain access to those special abilities. Some of them are really good, like for some of the LMGs it increases the stability. There's quite a few different ones and you've got to find the right balance between the skills and the stats for it to all work. I've also noticed that some of the blue equipment is moddable as well, so if it's got like an extra slot then you can add performance booster onto that to increase your skills a little bit, so I'd definitely go with the moddable equipment. When you get past level 14, then when you head to the Dark Zone you get what's called DZ brackets, and for those you'll be locked to a certain bracket. So say for example if you've got level 15 to 19 players, they'll all stay within that one. But if you team up with a level 20 player, then what you'll need to do is transfer to their Dark Zone. Then you'll be limited to a level 20 to 24 bracket, which other people will be there as well, but just be aware you'll be with quite a few high level players. I seem to be getting better at the Dark Zone since I'm not getting taken out by the enemies quite as much, although it definitely helps to go in as a group. Even if you're playing with a group of strangers, it's probably better than going solo, especially in some of the more dangerous areas. Some of the missions are already standing out to be quite good. I especially like the shopping mall mission. There's another one involving napalm tanks as well, which is pretty fun. Well, they all seem to be pretty good, and they do seem to be improving as I go through the story mode. And I do like the side missions as well. You can level up quite quickly if you do those. And there's a lot of hidden little tidbits around here and there. So if you played any other Ubisoft games, you'll know what I mean. Little icons on the map you can interact with to gain experience. That pretty much wraps up what I've got to say at the moment, but in the next episode I'll be talking about purple loot and I'll show you a bit of that as well, so you can see how that differs from the blue loot, and I'll show you what happens when you hit the medium levels, so between level 14 and 18. Hope you enjoy the rest of this video. See you next time.
Warning. Fire hazard detected.
Found another manual override for the fire suppression system. Sending Isaac the location now. Agent, but I need those builds intact and room temperature, no crispy edges. Crispy means heat, means off comes the prom dress. And try not to get yourself killed in the process. Crispy agents aren't much use to us either.
Alert. Hostiles approaching.
Agent. Locating undamaged bills with original strain virus in that place was like looking for needles in a haystack. But damned if you didn't pull it off. I can't wait to get my hands on them. Oh, and Agent? I'm buying the next round. Assuming there ever is one.